Alright guys, so this is going to be my review of Swamp Thing Green Hell. So, Swamp Thing Green Hell was sent to me by my good friend Chris, aka the Mount Vernon Kid. Chris, thank you once again for this, as well as the other comics you've sent me. And yeah, this is a DC Black Label book. You know, the comic best known for Bat Penis. I hate the fact that that's what it's best known for these days. But honestly, the thing of it is that DC Black Label, or as it's also known as Bat Label, because 90% of the books are Batman-centric, it has kind of moved further away from those Batman books. It has moved away and done other characters. Of course, there's the new Superman Last Days of Lex Luthor that's coming out. I'm interested in that. There was also Wonder Woman Dead Earth. There's this. There's also an Aquaman story called Aquaman Andromeda I'm very curious about. It's almost like an Aquaman Lovecraft story, which sounds really cool. And, of course, you have Peacemaker Tries Hard, which my girlfriend has let me read some of the books, and it's hysterical. I am very excited to read Peacemaker Tries Hard in trade, because from what I've read of that book, it's fucking hilarious. I never really got the overhype for Peacemaker, but this is a fucking funny book. It's all about, Peacemaker trying to find his lost dog, who's named Bruce Wayne, and it involves the Brotherhood of Evil. It's hilarious. Anyway, so let's get back to this. So what is Swamp Thing Green Hell? This is written by Jeff Lemire with artwork by Doug Mahnke, with coloring by David Barron. Finally, I get to be able to pronounce everyone's name, thank God. And I'm not saying that as a bad thing, I'm just saying, I really hate myself when I butcher names. I really feel bad for butchering names, so that's why I'm like, oh, thank God, I won't feel bad about, it's all the names I can pronounce. So if you guys remember, way back in the New 52, Jeff Lemire was writing, both Animal Man and, Swamp Thing. It was part of, an event called Rot World. And basically, he had that whole event planned out and did his thing, then bounced. So, yeah. So, it was Scott Snyder on Swamp Thing and Jeff Lemire on Animal Man. They crossed over. But he did do Swamp Thing for a bit as well. So, yeah, this is basically a culmination, or out-of-canon culmination of his Swamp Thing and Animal Man run. So what is Swamp Thing Green Hell? Now that we've got, like I said, this is Jeff Lemire's, coming back to his run in the from the New 52 era. And don't worry, this is not New 52. Black Label's its own continuity. So let's get into that. So the story is that mankind is fucked. For all intents and purposes, mankind is thoroughly fucked 8 ways from Sunday because we killed the planet. It basically shows us the effects of global warming. It has basically shown us what pollution and global warming has done to what's left of the human race. And essentially, the parliaments are kind of pissed off. The elemental parliaments are pissed off, but however, the Rod is well, if they die, then there's nothing left to feast upon. The Red is they're part of humankind, we can't attack them. So the Green's we'll do it. We'll take them all out. We've been waiting to. So, yeah, so the Green creates new creatures, new Swamp Things, and new avatars to wipe out what's left of humanity. However, mankind is saved by a very old and very crotchety John Constantine. And essentially what happens is that he summons Alec Holland from a place of, pure bliss that he's been living with his wife and daughter, and has been pulled into this reality to save the world from the Green. So, I really like this book. This is 3 issues long. They're 3 books. They're about, over 60 pages. They are really good. And also, for a Black Label book, they don't do the whole, cover word, swear words or whatever. It's all out. It is all out there. Doug Mahnke, it's always fun to see. I really like Doug Mahnke as an artist. And when I saw his name on the book, I was like, damn, I'm really excited about this. So, yeah. So, let me show you, how good his artwork is right about, here. Check that out. Just look at how good he is on these 2-page spreads. Yeah, just look at how good these 2-page spreads are. Doug Mahnke is such a, I feel like, underrated artist. And it sucks, too, because I think he was really good on, like, Green Lantern and Action Comics and stuff like that. But I don't really see him a lot on mainstream books, so it is cool that Lemire got him on here. The story itself is 3 issues long, but Black Label books are, like, oversized. So it's more like they're 48 to 60-page books. It's actually, for that length, it's actually kind of a fast read. Like, it actually is a pretty doggone fast read, but it is pretty cool. Like I said, I've been wanting to read more Swamp Thing books, and this is very, like, if you knew Jeff Lemire's run from Animal Man and Swamp Thing, then you know where this is going. Plus, it gives you all the hits. It gives you, like, a new version of Animal Man, or should I say Animal Woman. You have Constantine and Deadman here. And, like I said, it really showcases, like, Swamp Thing being torn between being put out. It's like Old Man Swamp Thing without being Old Man Swamp Thing. That's kind of how this story is. In fact, Alec Holland himself doesn't really show up till towards the end of the first book. It's more about, like, the parliaments and the effect of what's gone on in the world. Not like also not like a Mad Max thing. It's really not. It's more of a humanity's just on its last legs and it's ready to go and it's our fault. So in a way, you can almost see why the parliaments want to just erase everything and go back to scratch. It's a pretty brutal look on Outlife, and even at the end, it does leave on a hopeful note, but at the same time, it's like, they've said throughout the book, like, how much mankind has devastated the planet, and, like, they can't save it. Like, this is it. So it's kind of on a very bittersweet note at the end of it. It's this very, like, bittersweet note that mankind leaves on, and it kind of makes you just go, well, that sucks. Well, not the story sucks, but it's more like, man, that's a downer note right there. I mean, yeah, it is cool that, like, everybody, it makes you think it goes on a happy ending, but really, when you think about it, it makes you realize, oh, mankind's fucked anyway. Like, it like, even without the Parliament of the Green, the Parliament of Trees, wiping it out, there's no going back now. So kind of, like, you think about it, it's like, oh, yeah, it's a great ending, and then, oh, it's still pretty sad. It's still pretty like, oh, shit, mankind's still fucked. But having said that, this is a pretty solid book. I do recommend this comic, so Chris, thank you once again for this comic, and if you've read Swamp Thing Green Hell, let me know in the comment below. If I do recommend this, I don't know if I'd recommend this to reading, like an opener to Swamp Thing. Because this is not for kids, but Swamp Thing and most Swamp Thing comics aren't really for kids to begin with. But I would say start with, of course, the Alan Moore books, if you can find them, and also the Ram V books. While it's not Alec Holland, it's a nice 3-volume storyline involving a different Swamp Thing, and I think it's really solid. And then kind of move on to this. But if you did enjoy Jeff Lemire's run, I would say this is a nice little, like, what-if alternate ending to it. But anyway, so once again, hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.